Hey everyone, it's Jack again with Toy Dojo, and today we're going to take a look at the pre-production sample of GigaPower's Gigasaur's line, their master robots, and this is Grassor, HQ02R, or their take on a mash piece style slag. And so we take a look at the box here. It's a good sized box. It says GigaPower up here with the shark, G1 style, master scale. Shows him on the front right there and some nice artwork. On the side, it shows more artwork of him in his robot mode. The other side shows him again in his dino mode. Then on the back, it shows him in his robot mode with the stance, another stance over here, dino mode right there. Down the bottom, it shows him in his dino mode, and it shows the accessories that come with him. On the bottom of the box, let's flip this around. There's a lot of warnings, cautions, all that kind of stuff there. And that's that for the box. So now, inside the box comes a nice, big, chunky styrofoam packaging. And it's going to be kind of off frame. Let me scoot back a little bit. It's going to be off frame, but that is what he comes in essentially. And it comes with this cover. It's a nice thick plastic cover that protects him inside there, plus all the accessories that come with it. And so here, let's pull this out. He's got his sword. He's got two rocket launchers here. Pull them out. He's got his gun. He's got these two leg filler pieces we'll talk about here. He comes with an extra head. And he comes with extra faces. In the back here, it's all empty, you can see, but inside those little slots there are other items, and we'll show what those are here in a little bit. So let's get that out of the way. And before we bring in Grassor, let's show off all the accessories into detail. Now, I didn't do a video on their gutter, but I did get a chance to mess with him. And to be quite honest, I really wasn't all that impressed. If you guys know me or heard me talk about in videos before, I love FansToys. I think they make great stuff. And I do have all the FansToys dinos up to date. And obviously I plan to continue it and finish it out with their version of Grimlock, who I believe is going to be named Grinder, or is called Grinder. So we're going to go ahead and show him with their version of Slag as well. So first and foremost, he comes with an instruction sheet here. Shows him how to get from robot to dino mode. Shows all the accessories there, how to switch out the faces, how to put in batteries. And then on the back it shows the other accessories here, where they go. Those go inside the legs. Where you can put these missile launchers. All these plastic pieces right here are going to go there. So we'll take a look at that. So very detailed instructions. They did a great job on that. All right, so let's start off. Let's start off with these plastic pieces. So these here, they're a nice tinted plastic, and these are meant if you want to recreate the G1 toy look. You can use these to cover certain parts of him when he's in his dino mode, and that's what all this is. So once we get to his dino mode, we'll show that off again. These two here, like I said, this again is to recreate the G1 look. If you want the legs folded on the outside, you would use these here as fillers, so that way he does not have just a big gap on the inside of his legs. The extra head right here, and it initially comes with, at least this version did, that I had, came with this face installed onto it right here. So let's take a look at that. That's like a screaming face look right there. So it came with that one installed onto this head, and I took it off and I put this red one. Now this is G1 cartoon accurate look right here, where he has the red face, red helmet, and then the blue visor as well. Now the visor is supposed to come off, I would imagine, because there are LED lights, or an LED that's underneath it, and it's supposed to light up the eyes. But I couldn't really I tried to pop it off, and I didn't want to mess with it because it seemed like it was stuck, and I didn't want to break it, so I didn't pop that off. But in order to change out the faces, all you do is you open up these two here. There's two screws there, take those out. pull this apart, then you just pop this face out, and you take this other face and you stick it back inside there, and then close it back up, and screw this back up there. So that's that. Alright, these two accessories here, again, these are the missile launchers. Let's kind of get in on these a little bit. So, the missile launchers themselves, they're decent. They're molded in a black plastic here with a silver paint right here. Now, I think they could have made them better. I say better in a sense that they are just black plastic. They have a lot of nice detailing going on here. There's a lot of nice little grooves right inside here. There's a lot of nice detailing that they could have maybe accented with different colors. You put silver up here, you maybe could have put some silver down here just to bring out this nice molding they have on there. So I feel like it's the same way on both ones. Then you have the gun itself. Now the gun itself, I feel the same way about it. The gun is it's a nice mold, but again, since it's all in black, and it's like a matte black, you miss out on all the little details they have here, you know, right up in here as well. Just all little detailed parts that they could have just painted down here in the handle as well, just to bring out some of the, you know, some of the cool features they had on that. And you can see it better there in that light. So I don't know. Again, for me, I think they could have done a little bit better on that. It does come with a light up feature if you put batteries in it. You will hit this, and then this is going to light up here where the red is. So that is a cool feature they got with that. And then he has a sword, and the sword itself I like. It's nice. It's molded nice down here. It's got nice molding in the handle. The sword itself as well has some nice little bits in here. And again, this one as well will have an LED light. And you should be able to see it right through there. There's the LED light right there at the bottom. So once you put the batteries in, you click this, and it's going to do the light up feature. Now I don't have any batteries that'll fit it, so we're not going to show that off because I don't have any batteries for that. Bringing in FansToys version's weapon, and I forget what his name was. I can't believe that since I'm a big FansToys fan. But I'm going to go with Snarl on both of them. So taking a look at their sword compared to this sword here, obviously theirs is a lot smaller, the FansToys version, but because their robot is also smaller. So the molding is almost similar. The one thing I didn't care for about this sword here is that, and we'll show it when we bring them in, but these kept getting in the way whenever you try and have him hold it, so you really couldn't connect this into his palm all that much. But both nice swords in their own right. I did like this one because this is a chromed red instead of just this flat black right here. So I think, you know, to me that wins out here because of that nice stuff there. And then look at the guns. The guns themselves are similar in style, but again, this one's all chromed out, so that makes it look a lot nicer. Not necessarily just because it's all chromed out, but I say because it is all chromed out, I think that's why it looks nicer. But I think if they would just put some better paint apps in here, it would look a lot better and not just so bland. So, but you can tell the size difference between these two big time. I mean, the FansToys one is tiny compared to this large one here. Alright, so the last piece of accessory that comes with it, and this is going to come from what I've been told, this is going to be coming with the metallic version and not with the chrome version. But you can buy this separate if you want to for your chrome version. And I believe, from what I've been told, it's going to be $7.99 to get this piece. Now this is a heavy, hard rubber plastic here. And this is the fire for his sword and also for his dino mode. And you can have him shooting out flames out of his mouth. So usually you do this, you just open this up. Let me zoom out. So you just pop this open. These are all pegged in together. Right inside there, you got these pegs here. They're going to go into these holes that are right inside there. So take the sword itself, and you just sit that sword right inside there, like that. And then you just take this, put this back on top. And just line up, once you line up one, you get them all lined up. And then just snap it together, like that. And that'll give him his flaming sword, which I think looks really neat. A fire sword right there. That's something that the FansToys one didn't come with. So I think with him you get a lot more accessories than you did with the FansToys version. And again, like I said, I'm a FansToys guy, so I'm going to be unbiased when I'm doing this review as we compare the both of them, because again, I do love the FansToys one, but messing with this one here, messing with Grassor, I will say he is maybe a little bit better than the FansToys one. So we'll talk about that. So let's bring him in. Let's not hold him back any further or any longer. Make him make his debut here on the Toy Dojo channel. And there he is. Well, there he is, kind of. Let's do that number there. Here we go. Let's kind of get in, but not get in. So there he is, right there. And he's a big bot. He's a really huge bot. A lot bigger than the FansToys version. Maybe not as much diecast as they have, at least from what I've been able to tell. But just heavy. Still, he's heavy for his size. You know, he's a big bot and he's heavy. So just to kind of show size comparison, before we get into all the what he can do, can't do, all that kind of stuff, we're going to go ahead and just compare him with some other bots. And first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and pull in FansToys version of the same guy right there. And you can see just how much taller he is in the FansToys version. Let's get these guys centered up a little bit. So you can tell just how much bigger he is than their version there. I mean, his head comes up to about probably like right here on him. So just a huge bot. Now, like I said, when I first, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's bring some other bots here. So we're going to bring in MP10. Because MP10 is the guy to go to check your scale on all of them. All right. Okay, now, this is where it's going to be your decision on whether you want to base it just off size alone. I personally feel like that's way too big to go with MP10. And I think that's about right scale. I say that because if we look at the cartoon and we look at the Sunbow height chart, which I think is the closest thing we can say, hey, that's going to be, you know, G1 cartoon accurate. They're only about a head taller than Optimus, where he is super ridiculously bigger than Optimus Prime is, at least MP10 here. So, and I remember the cartoon too, and we can't go by the cartoon either because in some episodes, you know, the mini bots are the size of the Dinobots and vice versa. So it's kind of like, you know, you really can't go by scale on that. But if we want to look at that from a scale somewhat from the cartoon, I feel like this one goes more to him than he does. But if you're one of those that likes to have your robots huge and just massively big, then that's the guy you want to go with there. So we're going to bring in Wheeljack since he is one of the Dinobot creators right there. Put him next to him. And then we're going to bring in Ratchet as well, since he also helped to create the Dinobots. And there you are. So again, size comparison wise, you can see just how much Grassor is to everybody else. If you like that, cool, then you're going to love this guy, because he's got some good features on him, besides being a big, tall robot. So let's go ahead and we're going to take everybody out of this here. And we're going to just put him off to the side here. We're going to compare the two. I don't want to talk about him for right now. So looking at him, he is beautiful. He's got nice red paint, and it's like a, I want to say that's a, maybe like a metallic color to it, but really, really nice looking paint job on this. Looks excellent job on that. Nice blues up here on the shoulders. Nice silver, good detailing right here. These are die-cast chrome pits right here on his toes, his dino toes there. He's got gold down here. Now, I don't think any of this down here is die-cast because it doesn't feel cold, whereas this feels cold still. So that's die-cast. I know this here, this centerpiece is die-cast. I can feel. The rest of it, I don't know that he has much die-cast anywhere else. On the back he does, and we'll look at that. But again, looking at him, he's got a lot of nice paint apps going along through his body there. Down in here in this windowed area here, he's got some nice little detailing and paint apps in there. Going to his back, these are the pieces here that I said that I think are die-cast because they are cold. So it's these four pieces here that go into his back, and those are die-cast. These are not. The horns themselves are not. This is not, nor is this. So he's got a clean look to him on the back here. The only thing that does stick out is the tail. And that's the only thing that really sticks out on the figure as far as not being really clean. But it doesn't look horrible, I don't think. It's just not as clean as the back of the FansToys version as far as on the legs. But I think the backpack or the back on him looks a lot better than the FansToys one. So let's bring him in to show the comparisons of the two on that. So if we take a look at them, when I first got him over here, I thought, man, that's great. Like, wow, that's a Dinobot right there. That's the one that fits with their masterpieces. And then I look at this guy and I'm like, wow, man, I don't know. I think he does. I mean, you can see he's a lot thicker. His legs are a lot thicker here. His feet down here and his lower legs are a lot thicker than he is here. The shoulders are bigger. The arms are bigger than this guy here. Just all around beefier. Backpack, he's got this backpack here, but that also hides the tail up instead of the tail being stuck down here on the legs. Whereas he does not have that backpack at all. You know, he's got his wing set, but no backpack, if you will. But then again, the tail is down here. So, you know, you take your pick. Do you want the backpack? Do you want the tails down on the leg? So it's your choice. These are die cast up here, like I said, where these are not. He has that nice chromed out bluish green eye, whereas his eye is a nice red painted color. The one thing that, and we talked about that, and when we start to mess with them, I'll show you, but these here are fillers. So if you want to give him the G1 look to him, you can essentially rotate these inner legs out to have them sitting out here if you want the G1 toy look, and this will fill inside there. Whereas on this one, if you were to take that same leg portion and put it on the outside, you're going to have this big gap in here. So I will say kudos to them for including these right off the bat in order to take care of that and not have to make you go out and get another figure that they're selling in order to get some other parts. So they both have a good look to them and they both have good paint apps. But again, I think he looks cooler because he's bigger, he's blockier, he's bulkier. And if I'm thinking about a big dinosaur robot, I think I want him to be just a big beefy guy. You know, this is a guy I think that could take on Devastator more so than he can. You know, again, in my opinion. So, all right, let's take him off school over here and let's go ahead and look at some articulation. So the head itself, you can go side to side with it. You can kind of look up. You can look down. The shoulders themselves on a nice clickety ratchet. You hear that? Strong ratchet. That's something that he did not have. Take a look at that and you listen to that. I hear a little squeaking, but that's about it. Articulation for his arm, that's as far out as it can go. It doesn't go out any further than that. His arm goes way out here. So, again, it looks like he was working out and his arms got sore and he can't move them up. So he's got that going for him as well. Okay. He's got an upper biceps over here. The arms do bend right here at the elbow. And the cool thing about that is you got this, which looks like one solid piece, and it doesn't take away from the arm itself, the way it bends like that. Or I can't remember what his looks like when he bends his. Let's see. Yeah, you kind of get this gap right here. Whereas when you do his, it's filled in 100% of the way. So you're not missing that elbow piece, kind of the way his is. Now they try to fix that with this here, but through the back you can see where it's missing. Whereas in the back of his here, you can see it's full. So another little tidbit that I thought they did a good job doing right there. The one thing I wish they could have done is here, found out a way to maybe move these to the back if you wanted to have a more cleaner look without these here. But these do not flip up to the back the way the FansToys version did. That was able to move up and sit on his back if you wanted it to. So, all right, so then down on the hands, the wrist does rotate like that. All of the fingers are individually articulated. The thumb's articulated. They're all on ball joints right here at the base of the fingers. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, and I say that because on this version at least, these are loose depending on which way you move them. But like that finger there, you know, they're loose to that ball joint there. So is that a big deal? Maybe not. I mean, I think because the weapons hold well enough inside these slots here that you don't really need the fingers to grasp them. But, you know, they are loose there if that matters to you at all. And again, this is a pre-production sample, so maybe that's something that's fixed on the final version. I guess we'll see. He does have a waist swivel like this. And that's mainly for transformation, but that is there. Getting down to the legs, you got hip skirts that flip up in the front, on the side, and on the back. And that gives him An outward leg movement like this. Stick that there. An outward leg movement like that. Forwards. And backwards. Backwards goes more than forward does. Now if you saw there, and this is the way it is with the dynos, because the legs fold the way they do, you get a tendency for these to kind of lean over. But that's an issue with all dynos that have the legs that fold in like that. So looking at this, we go down to the knee bends, and the cool thing is you got this kind of like a knee guard, if you will, that prevents anything from being seen inside there that will otherwise make it look a little bit uglier. So that's cool they did that there. There is no rotation at the knee there at all, but you do rotate here at the hip, right there on that joint right there. Down here on the feet, this really doesn't tilt. It does go down and up like that, but it's not going to really tilt any other way. On the back here, this does not move at all, so you're pretty much right there with that. So that's the way that is there. And then going on to the back, is there anything back here? Not really. These can come down if you want. The wings themselves move here like this. They do not have like the FansToys version. You're able to move them kind of up like this, but these you cannot do that. You can only move them in and out like that. So, like I said, this down here can fold down if you even want more of a clean look there. All right, so looking at that leg portion, let's go ahead and open that up so that way we can see what it looks like. So, on theirs, when you would do it, you would just take this. You'll pop this back like that and have access to it all. So on this version, though, get this out of the way. You have this, you're gonna tilt the leg in a little bit, you have this little tab right here. So we can see how well we can see that on camera. You got a little tab right there. And that little tab keeps these two pieces together from opening up. So just gotta flip that up right there. And that gives us access to go ahead and open this up like this in the back. Let's get that done. And it gives you access to do this right here, like that, okay? Whoa, I'm zooming in too much. To be able to move that open like that. Okay, so now when you do that, you're able to take this piece here and flip this out onto the side like that. Okay, and that's on a big ball joint right there. So you can do that, you can close this up like that. And just close this back together. And then flip this on however you want. Up, however you want to do the legs like that. You know, down, however it is you want to have these situated. It's up to you. So, instead of having this huge hole in this foot, which it currently does here, or the inner part of his leg, you take this piece here. Let's make sure I have the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. You're going to take this. There's two pegs right here. They're going to fit into two peg holes that are right there at the bottom of the foot. Or lower leg. I keep saying foot, but lower leg. So you just take that and just snap that in like that. And now all of a sudden, you got a nice filled in section right there. And you don't have that large gap. And there's some nice paint apps and detailing on that. So if you want to have the G1 toy look, you can. And not suffer with the hole in the side there. So, there you go. Again, like I said, if we do that over here, that's just going to be a big hole in the side of his, inside of his leg there. So, okay. Enough about that. We're going to go ahead and just rotate, or transform him and get him into his dyno mode, and then just kind of talk about that as well. So let's get this off here real quick. Say real quick, that pig's in pretty well. Come on. There we go. You know, the one thing I didn't show, let me do it real quick. And show him with his weapons in his hands and how well he can hold them. Talked about it, but didn't really show it. So let me do that real quick before we get into that mode there. So this here, okay, because this is a heavy piece, it's good that they went with these ratchets right here. So they didn't go with those ratchets, then he wouldn't be able to hold that sword up because it's so heavy. So you take this, and just like any other masterpiece, you're going to sit in there and just slide in that gap on the side of the hand there. And where are you? There you go. And you hold that in just like that. And you can see he holds that very well. And if you shake it, it's not going to fall, nor the arm is going to fall either. Okay, the hand will rotate, but he's going to be able to hold that very well. and it's not going to fall down like this. So that ratchet holds it very, very securely. The gun as well, you can take the gun, you can put that in his other hand. I usually hold that gun very well as well. Okay. You can take these, you can situate them anywhere you want to. You got a spot right here on his arm you can sit them in. If you want to give him like launchers on his arms right there. You got that option there. When his leg's sticking out right here, you can situate them. Let's get that out. You can situate them on the leg as well and have those on like that if you wanted to in his dyno mode or in his robot mode. So I think it looks better up here, but you know, you can do it however you want. So that's his weapons there. And the only thing I didn't see was where to put this in his robot mode. And I don't know that there is a spot for it because this is meant for his dyno mode. So we'll take a look at that in dyno mode. So okay, so let's now go ahead and go into the transformation of it all. So let's just start up here on the top. And take this, close down the fingers, close them all down just like so. Pull down this bottom portion like this. And rotate the fist to where the fingers are pointing down just like that. Okay, and you're gonna fold that inside like that. Make sure you got all things lined up right, except not, it won't fit inside there. And then just take that, fold it down just like so. Close this up like that. Okay, now you got that. Do the same thing on the other side there. So we're gonna take this, rotate it around, close the thumb, close the fingers down. Open it up from the bottom right here. Rotate that in and close this up just like so. Okay. Now here, you're gonna take this, you're gonna pull this piece down right there. And the head you're gonna take and you wanna rotate it. Now you can't just rotate it just like this because this back portion will be holding this neck piece down. So you gotta take this head here and kind of wiggle it up. That way you can get room to move this. And then you just flip that head in like that. And then close this up right there and shut that down just like, yeah, let me get that right. Come on. Put it down too far. Just like that. There you go. All right. So now on this piece here, let's pull that back. Let's look this up a little bit. Let's see it's tall. So on this piece here, you want to take this, you're going to rotate this around. So that way this open portion where his head was recessed into is now going to be in the inside of his mouth, and that's going to be his lower jaw. So you do that like that, and the top part is, for the most part, it's almost complete, okay? So we're going to take this, we already took this one out here, we're going to go ahead and take the other one out as well. Okay, so again, we're just going to bend that leg in, flip this piece up like this, open this whole section up like that, rotate this piece out, like so. Close that back up like that, just for now. And what you want to do is you want to take this, you end up having to rotate the legs themselves and then the waist itself. So we're going to rotate the waist around like this. Okay? And then you're going to rotate the legs out as well. Okay? Just rotate them out. Now this portion here, you're going to take this upper portion here and let's just flatten this all out. This is going to close up like this because these are on like a dual hinge. There's a hinge here that comes up right here and then also flips up right inside there. So you can take that, you can flip that up like that and then flatten that out on the back. And do the same thing on the other side like that. So what's going to happen is you're going to get these pegs that are lined up right here. There's 3 of them. And they're going to go into peg holes that are on the opposite side, which is right down in there. Okay? Take that, flatten it out, and that will be connected together like that. All right. So this portion here, you're going to take this piece that's sitting in here, you're going to flip that out like that. And the reason why is because when you flip this forward, that's going to tab into there. Oops, right there. Excuse me. And that's going to keep this section and these sections together so they don't come apart when you're in dyno mode. So take that, and let's go ahead and get this out of the way like that. Okay, fold that down like so. Do the same thing over here, flip this one out, fold this down, put that out of the way. Fold that down like so. And we're going to take all this. It's going to close up just like that. Take this other one, close it up just like that, same way. And then this, like I said, you can see where this portion right here is going to slot in right there to hold that together. So you can take that, close that down like so, like that, and do the same thing on the other side here. Let's get that out of the way. And that's going to just close down and slot over that leg piece right. Come on. Stop being a jerk. Right. There, just like that. And these pieces will go down like that. Okay, so now on the tail, I'm going to take the tail and pull out this piece right here. So you want to start to pull that up like that, and when you bring this up like this, you want to rotate it right there. That way you can pick it up and then spin it around. So do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take this up, pick that up, spin it about right there, then flip that over like that. All right. So now what you want to do before you start to connect all this together, I find it easier, instead of just taking everything and closing it up, you want to get these here first, because this long gold piece right here and this short gold piece right there is this going to go underneath here. The long one's going to go into here, and this gold one's going to go right over here. So you want to get that done, because if not, what happens is as you start to try and do it when it's connected, this falls flat like that, and it's almost impossible to get. And make sure you have these closed down as well. Just like I said, it's going to keep these together. So close that one down. That one's already closed down. But so you want to do this before you tab everything together. So we'll take that, and we're going to make sure that that is, again, underneath. My hand out of the way. Make sure that right there is going to be underneath that spot right there. Just kind of get on that. So just take that, and when you're doing this, the way I found it easiest to hold up here on this side. That way you can get that and then situate that just like that. And now you got it. Okay? So just like that. Okay, and do the same thing on the other side there. Take this. Flip that down. Back out a little bit. Flip that down. Make sure that is underneath that top section there. And make sure this is connected down there. And now you're good. Now you can take everything and start to just smash it together and get everything connected. So we'll just do that with the tail, down like that. Everything else, smush it together. And now you got him. And the last thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to get these legs extended. So what you want to do is you want to just straighten that out like that. Okay? And then this leg is actually pushed and it's recessed inside this portion right here. So you take that and just pull. Come on. Just like so. There you go. And then close this little flap down like that. Okay? And then the foot itself is folded in. You take that, flip that out. And now you got his other toe. So we'll do it again on this side here. Make sure this is all lined up, tabbed together. There we go. So rotate that down. Flip this forward like that. And on this piece, make sure it's kind of pulled in a little bit. And that's going to make it easier for the leg to get pulled out. So you take that and you pull this leg straight out just like so. And then close that little flap down. And then again, flip out this toe section right here. Like that. And now it's just a matter of just sitting them up and getting them all squared away like that. Now the one thing that I found, at least on this version, and I don't know if it's just this version itself or what, but this top piece right here does not stay together very well. Those three pegs, for some reason, doesn't stay together very well. Like right there it stays, but then it wants to separate. So I don't know if it's just this version itself or that's the design flaw on that. Hopefully if that is the flaw, that's something that's going to be fixed before they release them. But there he is in his dyno mode. And it is a nice dyno mode. If we take a look at that. Let's pull that down. Let's take a look at that. So looking at the dyno mode, he's nice. He's a big robot. He's not a baked potato. If you remember this guy, and we'll transform him. We can take a look at them both, but he looked like a baked potato when he was in his dyno mode. So let's take a look at his dyno mode first, and then we'll pause. I'll transform him. We'll get back and we'll compare the two. But here's his dyno mode. He's got, as far as articulation goes, the head can look somewhat up, can look down, does spin side to side if you want that action there. Mouth does open right here like this. He's got a flamethrower bit sitting up right there inside the mouth, which is cool. Really, I like the eyes. The eyes look cool. That red color looks really, really neat. And then the red horns obviously are for the G1 toy look. So if you like that, that's what you got there. You got all the nice details here. Nice paint apps here, detailing. Just a lot of nice detailing on this figure. Just like the FansToys one, you got these bits here that are like that translucent smoked color, I guess, that are there. And then rotation-wise, you still get the same rotation you got in his robot mode. You get all the same functionality from those, since those are essentially his arms, and these were just the inner portions of his legs there. So the tail itself does move side to side right here. Now you can't get it to move up and down since it's all tabbed right here at the top. Now if you wanted to disconnect it, you could and make it move, but you know it's not really intended for that, so that's what that's for right there. So I think he's a real nice dyno mode. He's big. I mean, it's a big old freaking dinosaur, but he looks good, I think. Now these here, you can take this and you can peg this into the back right here if you want to. So you can just take that, plug that in there, and now you have his cannons on the side of his arms. Alternatively, you can just take them and put them right there, which would have been his elbow area where we did it on when he was in his robot mode. So you can do that. This here, I told you we can use that inside this mode here. So you take this portion, take the sword off of it, close it back up, like so. And this piece right here is going to sit, and it's going to go inside. You see that right there is going to sit inside this opening right here. So take that, put that together, and then I always forget which way it goes in. So let me take a look at this. And I put it on here at least a dozen times, and I always forget which way it goes, but I want to say it goes like this. You're just going to take that, and you're going to put that onto that. So let me try that with this. It'll be easier doing it without that. This guy on this side there. Alright, so you take that, stick that on there like that, and then you're going to take this piece, and you're going to plug that onto there like so. And so what that allows you to have is kind of like a fire breath weapon, if you will. Doesn't really go anywhere, like you can't do anything with it since the head doesn't look up, but it makes it like he's shooting fire out of his mouth and down onto the floor there. So that is a cool look. That looks really neat. I like the way that looks. Again, just something that you didn't get with the FansToys version. So if you like gimmicks, which I do, I love gimmicks, you'll love that gimmick right there. So we're going to go ahead and take a pause right here. I'm going to pause the video. We're going to transform him, and we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at him and him, compare the two, and then I'll give my final thoughts on this figure right here. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. And so, okay, you can see here now I got him in his dyno mode, I got him in his dyno mode. And again, for those that always say he looked like a baked potato, I never really thought he did, I guess. Or maybe I did and I just denied it because I was like, no, FansToys, they can do no wrong. I love FansToys. You know, it's really the way I was. But looking at him now, compared to him, I see where people were saying he looks like a baked potato. So we look at the shape of this, and he really is. He's got rounded here, but it kind of goes flat here. And then down at the bottom here, kind of goes flat and then comes up. Whereas if we look at him, you can see where it's rounded, and then that roundness comes throughout the body and goes down to the tail. Right under here, he's got some nice rounded, and it comes up. But it's just, I think it's this back portion here which really does it for me as far as the dyno mode goes. You can see what I'm talking about here. This one looks more flattened out right here than that one does. That one looks more rounded. And then at the bottom as well, if you look at the bottom of both of them, you can see that he just looks more, I guess, I don't know, flat and long here than he does there. So, and he is a big robot. I mean, he's a big, beefy dude. I mean, look at that. You know, look at the I'm going to call it the mane. I don't know what the dinosaurs call it, but I'm going to call it a mane. So I think about a lion, it's a mane. So if it's what it's called, cool, I got it right. If it's not, then let me know what it's supposed to be called. I do think they did better here. I think this looks better right here than this one does. This one looks kind of like a flower, I think, but this one right here looks really neat. So I think they did better there. I initially liked this here because these are just die-cast metal, but the problem is with die-cast metal is if you just leave it, it's not treated, it starts to get a film on it, and that's what my horns got. They got a film on them. The little toes here, they got a film on them that can be easily cleaned off if you polish it up. But you know, it's something if you leave it and you don't mess with it, then you start to get that film stuff on that. And so like these are chromed out. It's metal, but it's chromed out metal. And so you won't be getting that really with that you do with this here. And then even this right up here, these are kind of like, I don't know, a little bit discolored, this die cast here. So, and I keep my stuff in a room, and the temperature in the room is normally between, I don't know, I'd say 75, 80 degrees. So it's not like it's really a bad temperatured room. So, but you just get that issues, I guess, with them. So another feature that they gave him that you didn't get with him, and again, I'm telling you, he comes with a lot of accessories. So all these pieces here. And so what you do with these pieces here, again, let's just take this. You want to make them look like the G1 toy? Cool. You got this. You take this, plug it on top, boom, G1 toy. Take the tail pieces here, and you just connect these onto the top right here. And the top portion, you can tell the top portion is this here, where these kind of raised pieces are. The bottoms don't have that there, so you can see the difference between the top and the bottom. You take them, connect them right there, you got that. Same thing with here. The top portion is going to be with the raised bits, the bottom portion isn't. So you take these here, and I have it on the wrong side, but you take them, put them there, connect them. Now you got a G1 toy looking slag with the red horns, this covered pieces here, just really nice looking. I mean, I really like this one here. I still like my Scoria, and I finally remember his name, Scoria. I still like him, but I think because he had issues when he was first, and mine was the first release one. So like I had the issues with I think it was these, I can't remember if it was these or these, one of them that were real loose, and so he wouldn't, I think it was the shoulders here. And so like I had to get replacement shoulders for it in order for it to function properly. And like I said, I really didn't mess with their version of, what was his name again? Gutter. I messed with him a little bit, but not enough to say, oh, he has A problem, B problem, C problem. So they may have problems. I have no idea. But I know on this one here, for it being a test shot, I really didn't come across any issues that I can say, yeah, that's going to be a big issue. Aside from, like I said, this gapping issue. And I don't know if that's just this one in particular, or there's something they're going to have to fix. I don't know. That is a bit of a sore spot, you know, because it doesn't want to stay together like that. But all in all, this is a nice looking figure. So I guess the question remains, if you don't have either one, who do you go with? Honestly, I think at this point, if I didn't have either one of them, it's a hard decision. I think aesthetically pleasing, he looks better, especially in his Dino mode. But size-wise, I think he's just too big, for my taste anyways, compared to Prime, okay, MP10. But saying that, I do keep my dinos, I keep all my bots in robot mode, but I keep my dinos in their dino modes because dino modes look cool. So I think him being in this mode, and if you're one that keeps him in dino modes, I don't know, I think maybe you can go with this guy here, because again, he looks awesome in his dino mode. He's big, he's just cool looking, and you get the option to do this if you want to. So I think if you're going just for the dino mode alone, I think he wins hands down. No questions about it. He just feels a little bit outdated. He has good chrome right here. He has a chrome's eyes, but again, I think Dino mode, he wins out. Bot mode, I think maybe he wins out in certain aspects. Like I said, I think he's awesome because he's got a lot of bulkiness to him and a lot of beefiness. But he, to me, is the perfect size. And the one thing I didn't cover, but I think his face sculpt looks a lot better than his face sculpt here. I think he looks closer to the animation than his face sculpt does. I think his face sculpt, to me, looks like it would have been in that of, and we'll just pull this one in, it's a red version, but I think that face right there looks like it would have been more for Sludge and not so much for Snarl here, or Slag, I should say. And that's because I think Slag always had like a flat face to him, and this one's more rounded. So I think face sculpt wise, he wins out better. So Again, those are my personal preferences or my personal opinions. You may disagree, you may agree. And you know what? That's the cool thing about us being collectors. You can choose to agree, disagree with us guys that do reviews and make your own decisions on that. So please let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can get this guy from. And also, once we are able to get this here as far as into ordering, I'll put a link for that as well. Okay? In the meantime, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And until next time, please stay safe.